We purchased the farm from my grandfather. He loved this land. This was his legacy. I have 3 young boys. Hopefully I'll be able to give it to one of them one day.
The farm used to produce soybeans and corn. The soybeans create there's a lot of runoff when you get heavy rains. But since we've rolled in the CREP, we've noticed a huge difference in the clarity of the stream.
CREP is the Conservation Reserve Enhancement Program, and it's a program that allows producers to make environmental improvements to their land using federally funded dollars. It's a great way to get started into conservation. The components of my contract was the riparian buffer planning, stream bank fencing, and an off-stream watering facility. You know, we have the cattle grazing out here in the field today. You know, they're going to be making nutrient deposits on the ground, and the buffer is going to give it a chance to have that material picked up before it ever gets close to that stream.
Behind me is one of the fields of cool season grasses, which has 5 different types of grass in it, and it's much shorter than the warm season grasses, which are over in another field. It's basically to preventing or slowing down the runoff of nitrates from pesticides and herbicides that ultimately get into the creeks that go into the Chesapeake Bay.
Anyone with livestock knows, as you start building numbers, you can build environmental consequences pretty quickly. The water's clean before it enters my operation. I'm responsible for about half a mile of this stream. If I can do everything on this half a mile stream on my property, and the next guy does the same on his, it'll eventually find its way down to the bay in a lot better shape than when it started. We all live upstream of somebody.
I would be remiss if I didn't say the money is a factor. It certainly is. But that's not really the primary reason we enrolled in the CREP. It wasn't to get rich or to really make a lot of money, because that's not the whole idea. But I still think, again, if you compare that to farming it commercially, now what they're paying now, I think it's fairly competitive.
The financial assistance was critical, which is important to some individuals that might not have the financial funds to pay for a project like this. As soon as I got the cattle out of the stream, vet bills really decreased. We took away that likelihood of injury.
If we were to farm this ground, and I think till you add up all of those costs, I think the CREP is undoubtedly easier to manage, is cheaper, and of course they're providing you with a stipend for your work. There's no question in my mind that you're going to put a lot less time in managing a CREP stand than you will growing a commercial crop.
When it comes to maintenance, one thing to keep in mind is you get out of your project what you put into it.
There isn't that much time to put into it. You just have to go around with your backpack sprayer and identify that weed and say, I got rid of that.
It's not a significant workload when it comes to time or money, to tell you the truth. The stream before, it didn't have much aquatic wildlife. Now if you were to walk down to the stream, you can find native brook trout.
I mean, what do I see when I look out across the soybean field? I look out across my CREP field, you know, I might see a deer, foxes. We have a lot of unique birds, just wildlife. They're not going to live in a soybean field. They're not going to live in that cornfield, but they're going to live in this warm season grasses and this cool season grass.
They supply them with food. It's a nesting site. It's cover. There was nothing done on this farm that can't be done on the next.
When I drive out here and I look at my CREP and I think, boy, you know, I'm really doing my part. It makes me feel really good that I'm doing something to help preserve this world. I just get a lot of self-satisfaction out of being a participant in the CREP program.
For more information about Pennsylvania's CREP program, go to www.creppa.org or contact your local Farm Service Agency office.